What is good? It is your boy, Mr. Frenzy from MrFrenzyProductions.com. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you've learned anything from these videos. And I am back to manipulate some MIDI for a melody over this chord progression. Okie dokie. So I'm going to actually use the same pack and also the same folder as well. And the reason why is because everything in the same folder is going to be in the same key. Okay. Now you can mix and match keys and all that sort of stuff by using other ones. I mean, by all means, go ahead. But just for like simple demo sakes, if you're a beginner, just use the same melodies that come in the original folder. So basically, if I'm working out of 118, I'm going to want to stay in 118. Okie dokie. So now what I'm going to have a list to do I want to use the guitar or do I want to use the piano? You know what? I'm going to use the... I kind of want to use them both, actually. I'm just going to use the guitar, but I am not going to use the actual guitar loop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the MIDI, okay? So I'm going to drag and drop the MIDI over here. Make sure you don't drag it on top of the pre-existing MIDI because it'll just copy right over it. So if you do any form of like changes to your MIDI or whatnot, it's just going to wipe that clean, which is a major bummer. So make sure it's underneath. Now, of course... this guitar MIDI is not playing because it's not attached to any VST. It's not attached to any sound. So what we got to do is we got to put a sound on it. So let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, I'm going to use Citrus again just because Citrus with, I believe even with the, like the most basic version, not the fruity edition, which is absolutely worthless, but like producer edition and above comes with Citrus and comes with all of its presets, which is pretty sweet. What else am I going to do? I'm going to see if I can find a pluck here. Should I do a pluck or should I do something or do a bell? Maybe a bell. Let's try a bell. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of surf through the sounds while I'm playing this. Maybe turn it down a little bit. I like this sort of dreamy sounding bell here, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to kind of adjust the sound as well because I hear there's a lot of like lower frequencies that I'm not really hot with. Actually, you know what? If anything, to kind of get rid of those like sort of lower frequencies, what you could do instead of actually using EQs, you can actually pitch it up an octave higher. All you have to do is hit Control-Shift, drag it over, hit Control, and then up arrow, and then there you go. You have pitched up all of the notes an octave, okay? So basically it's going to be exactly the same, except it's just going to be higher in pitch. And actually I really like that because the thing is that if I have it in the lower or in the mid octave range, it's kind of, it's not like it's fighting. You can still hear it pretty clear next to the chords. But I think actually if it's in the higher octave range, it kind of is more pronounced. So mix-wise, we have something in the mid-low octave range, and now we have something in the high octave range. So we don't have to do many like EQ decisions and all that sort of stuff to clear up the sound, okay? That'll all be covered in mixing, by the way, which will be in like a couple of months or so. I just got to make sure that you guys are comfortable being able to make beats before you start mixing beats, all right? So Dream Bell, that's fine. Actually, I'm just going to label it Bell. Put it over here. Add an EQ. So basically with the EQ, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll off some of the mid-range frequencies. And also the high frequencies too. So the reason why is because that sort of twinkly sound, I'm not a big fan of, especially since the piano is a very sort of lo-fi sort of sound. I made it lo-fi by using by high passing the high passing and low passing, like over here. High passing and low passing the frequency, so it already the low and high frequencies. So it already sounds like very lo-fi-ish. Okay. And also I added RC20 to give it even more like sort of vintage grit. So basically, if you want anything to kind of sound like more lo-fi-ish, all you have to do is just manipulate the low and high frequencies and make sure you get rid of like the high sheens and the very, very low frequencies, okay? So in this case, it would actually have to be low passing to get rid of that. And that's really all, essentially, that's really all it is. I mean, you can go crazy and literally actually bounce out this sample in a very, very like low bit rate, like what 40 does, or at least that's what they used to do back in the day. And that gives you like sort of a real like generic lo-fi sound. But you can also do that and it'll be fine. Okay, so originally this was the guitar, I believe. And now we have, and this was the chords as well from the last one. Cool. And now we have this by just manipulating the MIDI. You know, I'm gonna add an RC20 over to this bell as well, because I can hear a lot of the fluttering with the chords, so I'm actually going to want to actually add a little bit more flutter to that as well. And also I'm going to high pass some of it as well, because remember, we're actually more working in this EQ range, so with your RC20, you want to do the same thing essentially. Or else you're going to be getting a lot of flutter and stuff, a lot of processing in the low frequencies, which are not really necessary. There we go. Now it just controls the sound a bit better. And also there's an annoying frequency. I think actually it's... Do I want RC20 on here? Let me bypass it real quick. Can I bypass this? Hold on. I know why. Okay, so basically my distortion, the distortion is making those higher frequencies in this range, that really annoying sounding. So I'm not going to distort it at all. So I'm just going to bring down that. I'm just going to bring down the distortion, or else it sounds too annoying and I don't like that. Okay, cool. So another thing I'm going to do too is, just because I can, I'm also going to take the piano as well and see what I can do with that. So obviously, I'm not going to take the actual loop, the pre-recorded loop or the pre-mixed loop. I'm going to take the MIDI, drop it right underneath the bell. There we go. We're going to add a VST to it. So I'm just going to stick with Citrus. Kind of don't know what I would use actually here. What do you think? I never use Citrus. I mean, I haven't used Citrus since like 2012. But that's okay. Let's just, you know, let's just throw on some of the guitar stuff. I'm probably going to manipulate it anyway. So, where's the guitar? Or just try the piano. It's kind of cliche because it's already a piano sound, sort of. Oh my god, that is way annoying. I'm going to turn this down. Okay, yeah, this is not really working out when it comes to the quality of sounds, that's for sure. Let me see what we got in the guitars. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. There it is. Really? That's fine. Actually, I kind of like that. So what I'm going to do here, guitar. Again, I'm going to process this because just the way... I mean, it sounds all right, but I'm going to see if I can actually process it just a little bit more. So I'm going to add it over here. I'm going to EQ it first, I think. Yeah. Yeah, okay. go. Okay. Now I'm going to run it through drip as well. Now what I like to do with drip, just in case you have this plugin, because we're all being flooded with the advertisements for it, but it's a really sweet plugin for the money. I like to, sorry, I'm working a little bit too fast here. I like to hit random and then just kind of like listen to this. So the shape, I don't remember what these actually do actually. I do know this is the same thing as the RC20 like distortion thing. This one, distort, okay? I know that does that for sure. One of them is like a widener as well. I believe, yeah, the depth is like a widener, and this one is like the flutter, okay? That RC20 has. And this one I think is also a widener. So I'm gonna listen. All right, I don't want that. Spice it up a bit. Oh, that's kind of cool. And there you have it. It really, I mean, they try to market it and advertise this plugin like, you know, it's literally 2 clicks. And really, maybe if I just messed around with some of the presets, it would be 2 clicks. But I like to kind of have like just a little bit of like creative control, so I can kind of use my ears to come up with something that I wouldn't have thought of. You know what I mean? So this is a classic example. This to me is like perfect. It just accents a perfect vibe for the beat, man. Another thing I'm going to do as well, I'm going to add a little bit of delay to it. So to manipulate the delay, what you have to do, you're going to need one of these BPM wizards. All you have to do is basically it's a delay calculator. Okay, so this is in 118. We're going to set it to eighth notes as well. So it's going to echo as in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dot, 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 dot. Okay. And that's what we want. So basically, if you look here, if you can see this, this is at 254. So I'm going to set my timing to 254. It comes up in the clock here, 240, 254. I think that's about as close as we're going to get. 256 is fine. You know, it can be relative. And now I'm going to bring up my wet. And there you go. There you go. Now we have that, you know, now we have that eighth note delay. Da, 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 da. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so forth. See what I mean? Okay, and that is how we are manipulating, well, not necessarily manipulating, we're definitely manipulating the sound, but we're just literally using the same exact patterns, MIDI patterns that we had from from literally this loop pack pattern / thingy. And if you want to get this pack, go ahead and look at the description below. You can get this pack absolutely free. And this is it for this one. This is Mr. Friends from MrFrenzyProductions.com. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you learned anything. And I will see you in the next one. I think next, what are we doing?